So we're going to talk about the trade secret, right? And is a this type of intellectual property is unique in that it's never registered. There's no public notice. The idea with the trade secret is that the company has to keep a secret, right? Um, and the perhaps the best sample is the original the Coca-Cola formula, which Coca-Cola has been able to keep secret for well over 100 years. Now, why the trade secret? Why not patent it? Well, patents don't last forever. Trade secrets can. Also, if you patent something, you made it available to anybody who can search patents, and that's anybody with a computer and access to the internet, or the ability to go to the U.S. Patent Office in D.C. and search through patents. Um, and that's less than ideal. If I know I can go download the recipe to make Coke or to make a Snickers bar, then I may just do that instead of buying it, right? If I know the 11 herbs and spices for KFC's chicken, I may just make it myself at home instead of going out to the restaurant. All right. Um, and if you have been to the World of Coke or the Coca-Cola Museum in Atlanta, you know they have this vault experience. And supposedly the secret formula is in the vault at the end of that attraction. You kind of walk through and it gives you some of the history of the formula. And if you believe that, I've got some beachfront property in Wyoming to sell you as well. It's not there. It's somewhere, but it's not in the vault in the museum. But anyway, Coca-Cola has done a good job of keeping its secret for well over 100 years. I've got Pepsi up here as a comparison. Pepsi started about 30 years later than Coke. But the Pepsi we know today is not the original formulation. So in the 1930s and 40s, Pepsi had financial difficulty, all right, and they did file for bankruptcy. And part of the bankruptcy process is a marshaling of all of the assets, and one of the assets was Pepsi's secret formula, and it was auctioned off to the highest bidder. Businessman bought the formula and still has the original Pepsi formula to this day. All right. So as Pepsi emerged from bankruptcy, they created a new formula. And so the Pepsi that is sold today isn't the original Pepsi. All right. So that's an example of how one particular trade secret did not survive bankruptcy. If that happened again today, my guess is the judge would allow that secret formula to be kept in-house, presumably if the company planned to reemerge as Pepsi did. Also, actually, I'll talk about that in a minute. Uniform Trade Secret Act. So just because trade secrets are not registered doesn't mean that they have no they have no enforceable rights. They do. All right. And the Uniform Trade Secret Act is like the Uniform Commercial Code. It's state law, but many states have adopted it. So I've linked to an article that deals with the Uniform Trade Secret Act. It's Coke and Pepsi, and two Coca-Cola employees stole intellectual property from a Coke development lab where they come up with new products. and they wanted to sell the information to Pepsi, thinking Pepsi would clearly pay a high price to know what Coke was bringing to market, so they could develop competing products or beat them to market. So 2 employees contacted Pepsi management, and what did Pepsi do? If you think Pepsi agreed to purchase the information, you're only half right, because they did, but they were only setting up the 2 employees with the local authorities. So they were arrested and charged with violating the Uniform Trade Secret Act. And the reason Pepsi responded this way is because if you purchase or deal in knowingly stolen trade secrets, you could be held liable. So Pepsi didn't want any part of this, and the 2 employees were arrested. All right.